Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Woo, are you ready to rumble? My name is Florentino Buenaventura, and this is the Changing Stage, and we've got that shows again for you today. We've got some great guests, and we're going to start off with one very special one. Somebody who's here in my backyard of San Diego, California, one of the well-respected technicians as well as artists when it comes down to amp creation. His name is Jason Moore of Moore Sound. How you doing, Jason?
Great. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Oh, it's awesome for you to come out. You've done a lot of work here, and you've got just a tremendous reputation in the market, and you're actually starting to get out and about with the web, and you're starting to get customers from all over the place. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's going slowly but surely. Trying to do it organically and not go too fast, but just keep everybody happy and keep new things coming out. Yeah,
I hear you. Well, let's start off with what got you into music and what got you into building equipment for music, and then let's lead into what your company's all about.
Well, I started playing guitar when I was about 16 years old, and I grew up in the outskirts of the Bay Area, up in Modesto, California, in the Valley.
Oh, I know Modesto. I was from Sacramento.
Exactly. So yeah, you know what's going on there.
Yeah, I do.
In the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, I was there. Skip's music, all those
right.
folks. I know Skip very well.
Yeah. So I grew up watching all those bands, all the guys that set the standards for thrash.
Oh, yeah.
And I worked for various electronic companies up north as well.
Okay.
And I started playing guitar when I was about 16 and, had all kinds of amps, Marshalls. And
Now, here's this question. What got you to start playing? Was it the music or the girls?
It was actually Joe Satriani.
Oh, Joe, okay.
And then it was the girls after that.
Yeah, we all kind of start going that way.
Right.
And you have your lovely lady here, so I can see that it worked out for you really well.
Exactly. It got me this, actually, playing guitar.
So, I'm sorry, continue on, Jason.
But anyway, so yeah, I grew up watching the guys that I considered the masters of tone. So when I started playing, I never could get that tone.
Okay.
Even, so.
All the pedals you can buy at Skips or whatever.
Didn't
get it.
And it turned out those guys had a bunch of modded Langners and Marshalls and stuff like that. I slowly but surely just started building my arsenal, my rig, and started making my own stuff.
At the tender age of 16, you were building your own stuff?
Well, this is years later, but,
okay.
I had quite a few amps, and I fixed all my own stuff.
Okay.
And then I probably didn't build my first amp until I was about late 30s.
Okay.
I made my own head.
Kind of getting your craft down and kind of going from, apprentice to journeyman.
Right.
I get it. Okay. That's cool.
I was doing mods and repairs the whole time, but I made my first head in the late 30s.
Okay. So that was like, what, a year ago?
This year.
Yeah, man, you're young. That's what rock and roll does to you folks, is keeps you looking young.
Absolutely.
Except for if you're Keith Richards. That's a whole other story. He's looked that age for about 30 years now. But other than that. So cool. So you're about the late 30s, you started making your own stuff.
Right.
Now, was it just for your own personal, or did you go, I want to do this for a living at that time?
My goal was to get the guys that I saw playing my stuff.
Okay.
That was my intention, was to make everybody that I like to see play sound better and play my stuff.
Who were some of those players that you really were admiring? You mentioned Joe Satriani.
Joe Satriani, Jeff Thorpe of Vicious Rumors, Mark McGee from Vicious Rumors.
Okay. Well, that's good, because they're
Alex Skolnick from Testament, guys like that.
Yeah. That's good, because from what I remember on your website, Vicious Rumors are some guys that play your stuff.
They are, yeah, and that was kind of a milestone for me personally, having those guys, playing my stuff and use it on the record, so.
Awesome. Well,
that was really cool.
then you started going, okay, hey, I'm going to make this profession. Kind of give us how that came about and where, did that start up in the Bay Area or actually Modesto, the Valley, or?
No, I didn't start the company until I moved to San Diego. I've been here for 14 years, so worked for a few companies down here, and I just started doing repairs and mods.
Okay.
Like crazy.
Okay.
And alongside the whole time I was creating my own head, so.
Well, that's awesome. And then now it's kind of getting big for you. Like I said, we were talking earlier, folks, and every time you go on his website, and I want you to give yourself a plug. What is the URL for the website?
It's moresound.com.
Moresound.com. Go there. It's a great website. You get a chance to see the product. People are on there. There's some interactivity as well. And then if you want to get your amp modified, you will definitely find that Jason can take care of that for you. In fact, you know what? You brought some cool stuff along with you. So we're going to do something unique here in the studio. You're actually going to play a little bit of the stuff that you have. So tell us a little bit about your product now, and then let's kind of go into you demonstrating it.
Yeah, the amp that I'm going to play that I brought today it's a 50-watt Stealth. It's got 2 channels. Goes anywhere from JMP 800 up into Bogner.
Okay.
Diesel territory.
So a little bit of the standard British sound with the Marshalls and on to the boutique sound.
The new modern stuff, yeah.
Okay. And what was your thought when you created this? What when you were like designing the engineering for it?
That head was pretty much everything I wanted. I wanted to be able to have a real nice, clean, punchy Marshall tone.
Okay.
And then also the other channel has the grinding modern metal sound as well.
Yeah. I've noticed that you can do everything from metal to blues, anything that's got some oomph to it.
Right.
I was going to use another term, but I wouldn't do that on the radio. So
could be some kids listening, you don't know.
Yeah, well, we are. That's what the show's all about.
It's a family show.
It's a family show. Though we've had some pretty good stories from our guests before. We try to keep it PG and edging up into the R. So, let's you've got your amp. You've also what's the axe you're going to play right now?
This is actually a 89 Ibanez 570.
Okay. So again, along the lines of the Satriani type of direction where you're playing Ibanez. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take a listen. So now you've got the settings to 2 channels.
Right.
Before we go, what's going to be the first channel that you're going to do?
This is the Marshall channel. It goes from, like I said, Plexi 800, 900 territory.
Okay.
And here's what that one sounds like.
All right, let it rock. All right, Paul, go ahead and get the other axe. Let's start a band right now, man. That was awesome. I dug that. That was awesome. I noticed that it had a lot of definition to the tone, which quite often, same with Marshall. Sometimes you get the muddled sound, you get lost. I really noticed that it was crisp, but it had all the edge that you would want to have. So.
Yeah, being hand wired and using military components and really good transformers and stuff like that. That's
the quality that you put into it.
You kind of lose that when you get a mass-produced amp circuit board, punched out, millions of stuff made, so.
Well, I think that's important. We've talked about this on previous shows. We look really for, when people come on this show, that their products and their talents have soul. And I think that's one thing can describe your amp. But it's not just one type of sound, right? You've got some other sounds that you can show us right now.
Yeah, this is the second channel. This is the modern channel.
Wow. Now that's got some, again, we won't say the word. That sounds great.
Thank you.
And you've got some great talent that you mentioned Vicious Rumors, who were very well known. Who are some of the artists? Tell us about how you got set up with Vicious Rumors.
Well, like I said, I kind of followed those guys back in the day, and seen as many shows as I did, they kind of took me under their wing.
Okay.
So, I was able to meet them and hang out with them, and the friendship, was remained ever since I moved down here. And as soon as I started my company, he was one of the first guys that I contacted about playing my head. So.
Okay. And they're using that on tour right now, right?
They're using it on tour and on all their records as well.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. Who are some of the other artists that you have that are using your gear?
I've got Nick Black. He's a solo artist. He's from San Diego.
Okay.
And also Jesse Gress of Todd Rundgren.
Okay. Todd Rundgren's a well-respected artist from up in the Northern California, from our own neck of the woods.
Yeah, that's where he originated. He's in Kauai now, but.
Yeah. With his 2 wives.
Right.
Well, 1 wife and girlfriend.
Yeah.
I've actually met him from a previous company, so.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, he is definitely. He's the artist of artists. So while we've got only a few seconds left before our sponsors kick in, I'm going to play a little bit of something from, is it Vicious Rumors?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and kick that in and let that play on through. You folks are in for a treat. This is Florentino on the Changing Stage with Jason Moore. Be back shortly. Great job, man.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you've helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Your guy, Doug Young, here for Sports Squawk Saturday with your guy, Doug Young, here on WSRadio.com. Hear hot Charger talk from the biggest names in sports every Saturday here on WS Radio.
In the military, things can change in an instant. The Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Talk to Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
We're here. This is Florentino Buenaventura with the Changing Stage on WS Radio Networks, and I've got Jason Moore here from Moore Sound in the studio, and we just had a great session there. We got a chance to hear Jason jam a little bit, what inspires him. We have his lovely lady here, reason why he started guitar, and I got a chance to listen to one of his products that he has, but you've got more than just one, so why don't you tell us a bit about the other products that you have that you're doing, and then we're going to kind of jump into services, what you do, how to select an amp that might want to be modified. So let's kind of start off with the product you brought in that kind of had it was like the prototype, but it's it's definitely ready and it's out right now.
Yeah, I brought the prototype down. They're all sold, unfortunately, but that one's it's the 1013 is the model. It's a 20 watt. 2 EL84 power section, 3 12AX7 preamp section, single channel with a foot switchable boost.
Okay.
And that one goes, it's kind of Voxy, Fendery flavor.
Okay. So
responds well to pedals in the front and the loop.
Okay.
And it's really kind of a Malcolm Young thing when you crank it.
Okay. Now, do you suggest certain type of cabinets that work best with your amps, or what do you think? It works with, whatever someone's flavor is?
As far as the high gainer goes, I kind of voice that to go with like a Boogie oversized 412.
Okay.
The 1013, fortunately, is responding well to single 12, 410.
Okay.
It even sounds great out of the Boogie, so.
Okay. So you can, with the 1013, you could actually be more of a small gig type of amp where you can put that with, like you said, a 112 and
absolutely
pick and go without having to move multiple stacks.
Right. Actually, it keeps up with a live drummer as well. So for 20 watts, it's pretty loud.
Now, a lot of the folks that are using this are heavy rockers. Are you seeing that like for this? The 1013, or are you starting to see maybe some other types of players, maybe more, pop rock or anything like that, those type of players picking up on your amps?
Yeah, like I said, we had Jesse Gress of Todd Rundgren. He's kind of a virtuoso type guy.
Yeah.
He really likes it. He's got one. He's recording with it.
Okay.
And I actually sponsored a Todd Rundgren camp at Woodstock.
Oh, nice.
Like a rock camp.
Yeah, that's some definite history there. So.
And I took 5 heads with me. He got one, and I ended up selling the rest while I was there.
That's cool. So you got a chance to go back to the East Coast,
right?
And hang out over there and get the ambiance of where history was made for rock and roll.
Absolutely.
Where all those great artists, were there making that concert of concerts happen. So now, when you were at that camp there, did you talk to all the aspiring artists there about types of amps that they should have or look at? Obviously, they should have more sound amps, but if someone was to buy an amp, say on Craigslist, you could actually take that amp and make it so much better. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's as far as the mods go, I'm not going to take a Marshall and make it a Fender. I'm not going to take a Fender and make it a Marshall, but different channels, more gain, adding a tube effects loop, anything like that is possible.
All right, I'm going to go for it, man. You could give it more balls, right?
Absolutely.
We did it. We broke the rules.
It.
Now I'm going to get kicked off the network. And
That's it. This is the last show.
This is the last show. But hey, I had to go there because that's really what it comes down to. There's edge, all those words. It doesn't quite fit. So yeah. Well, that's very cool. So let's say someone bought maybe a Fender Deluxe. Great sound for 410s. What would you suggest they do, that's different than stock?
I really don't suggest anything. They need to come to me, tell me what it's lacking. or missing, and we go from there.
Okay. So what you're saying though is that you can really customize the sound to meet the flavor of the artist. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Within a certain parameter. I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't go make a Fender or Marshall.
Yeah.
But, EQ differences and the feel of the amp, things like that.
Yeah.
Better transformers, better components.
It's very personal. And we had Fred from the Repair Zone. I don't know if you know Fred. Does a lot of guitar work for everybody from POD to Unwritten Law. Early days when Stone Temple Pilots was down here, he did that stuff. And, he really looked at same kind of thing. You really want to look at what that person needs, what their playing style is, and deliver that on the highest level. And I think that's kind of an important thing when people look at it, because they're so fixated quite often on big name brands. They're looking for something that somebody that they know used or has. That's why endorsements are so big. But, I encourage everybody to really look at the personalization. We talked about soul, looking at how that would really benefit them, and to talk to people like you, Jason, to see what they can do to get that sound that they were missing, like you were when you were 16 years old. Wouldn't it have been great if you could have talked to yourself back then, now? Yeah,
I ended up having to make my own amp, and I don't recommend anybody do that because you can get shocked. But, if you know what you want, at least, be able to translate it effectively, and somebody will be able to make it for you. Hopefully me.
So now we've heard why you're in this crazy music business, because you got electrical shock. You electrocuted yourself, and like the rest of us, have been demented ever since. No, it's awesome stuff. So, what would you tell that 16-year-old Jason? Because that's the guy that's right now going to be listening.
Wow, that's I don't know.
It's a hard one, right?
That is a hard one.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
That's just such a bizarre question. I don't even know what to tell you on that one. Stay
away from electrical outlets.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, I guess that would be a good one.
Wear a ground strap or something. I don't know.
Well, hey man, that is, it is a tough question to ask, because, for me, I would say grasp every moment, make sure that you're driving your passion, because we can always get swayed to different things, thinking that's going to lead us back to something. And I think that's one great thing I see about you. Your passion is driving you. You fell in love with making equipment. You fell in love with the art of a better sound. And, there's always I don't know if you remember the movie Almost Famous.
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
Great movie. I'm drawing a blank on the guy. He played the DJ. But he was talking, he just passed away.
Yeah, he just passed away.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Had a great line. It's just like, corporate America's choking rock and roll. And I can see that. We're down to only a few record labels, right? But I think that people like yourself who are they're out there making that art still happen, working with the artists that are not willing to compromise, the craft and create, compromise the art. I think that's great. What do you think about this industry right now? It's just, you've got a lot of fluff when it comes down to the pop music. Not to take anything away from that, but, what do you think about music in general, about the industry?
I just think that, that MTV is really not even music anymore. But if you go to Europe, it's mostly metal.
Oh, really?
So it's, I really don't care for the direction it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to point fingers, but most bands that I'm into
it's Paul's fault. That's my producer.
Yeah, right. It's all Paul's fault.
I blame everything on Maroon 5.
You love Maroon 5. Don't even start with that. Come on, man. I've seen you move like Jagger. Don't start with me. So metal's going on in Europe.
Most of the guys that are even touring these days are recording themselves.
Yeah.
There's really no label behind it, maybe for distribution, but not in this, they're kind of doing it on their own time.
Yeah, labels are actually starting to offer their services a la carte. So if you're an artist and you've got a good following, you can go to a major label and say, hey, look, I'll pay you to put me out, which is kind of so bizarre because we all grew up in an era where, you know, it's like, oh, you go get a contract, you get, you know, they give you $500,000, you blow it on a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't have been blowing on.
Exactly.
And then you end up broke and doing something, you know, and that was the rock and roll story. Unless, like we said, Keith Richards and, you know,
right.
You know, he's
an exception.
He's an exception. Him and Nick.
He's special.
Cause Paul moves like Jagger. So yeah, I definitely feel that. Who are some of the bands that inspire you right now? Who would you like to see use your amps?
You know, I'm really into soil work. You know, John Five's doing some cool stuff right now.
Okay.
The guys from Testament.
Okay.
Lots of metal guys, you know, Arch Enemy.
How about Satriani? Would it be good for
that would be cool. He's already been through so many companies that it's impossible to tell what he's into or
exactly.
Who knows.
Yeah, he's definitely got a few endorsements to say the least.
But that would definitely be a cool milestone if I could get Joe Satriani to endorse my amps. That'd be cool.
Well, you know, he comes down here every so often. I actually got a chance to meet him over at the Guitar Trader one time. Really nice guy. Really nice guy.
I talked to him at NAMM one year. I was coming out of the elevator and he was coming out by himself, and
there you have it.
You know, I kind of bowed to him and all that stuff. And
well, hey, when you meet your people that you've respected, you know, you can't help but be a little bit in awe. Well, Jason, I would like to thank you for coming out. You've been awesome on the show. Maybe sometime we'll have you come back, maybe bring one of the guys that you endorse.
Sure.
Unfortunately, we got to go to commercial break. Again, my name is Florentino Buenaventura with the Changing Stage on the WS Radio Networks, and we just like to give a big thank you to Jason Moore and Moore Sound for coming out and just being so dang awesome.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jason.
The key to a successful business is astute and solid promotion. Instant Imprints offers limitless solutions and everything you need to promote your business, event, or cause. From t-shirts to banners, trade show displays, mugs, business cards, we can imprint on anything from pens, golf balls, clothing, vehicles, and any type of customer giveaways. In order to grow, you must promote, and Instant Imprints is your full-service company to help you in all of your marketing and promotional needs. Locally owned and operated, in prices that will be music to your budget and a turnaround time that will make you smile. 2 San Diego locations to serve you, downtown and in Mira Mesa at Flanders. It's Instant Imprints for all your promotional needs. Remember our name, Instant Imprints.
Love to read but just don't have the time? With Audible.com, you can catch up on reading simply by listening. Audible has the largest collection of digital audiobooks, over 85,000 titles in every genre. Listen to a bestseller on your iPhone, BlackBerry, Android smartphone, or one of 500 other compatible devices. Visit audible.com/WS Radio today and get a free audiobook when you try Audible free for 14 days. That's audible.com/WS Radio.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
When it comes to printers, Canon technology has changed the way images and text are put to paper. Canon's laser beam printer technology has redefined both color and black and white printing standards in over 80% of the world's laser printer. Canon's bubble jet printing technology has completely revolutionized color printing by consistently delivering new innovations from personal use and home office businesses to corporate solutions. Canon printers have the technology and reliability you're looking for. Learn more at Canon.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Paul, I think somebody left your name off of that announcement. You should be on the card with me on the boxing match. That's Paul Berezeski, my producer. He is awesome here. I want to give a shout out to him because he's been managing like multiple mixers, because we had a awesome guest here with Jason Moore of Moore Sound here, playing a little bit of his awesome amps there, like the 1013 and the big one. So now we've got another great guest here, a personal friend of mine, the owner of the hArt Lounge, and that's a small H, capital ART Lounge. His name is Arturo Gonzales, and we call him Art because he is the patron of art, almost the patron saint of art here for San Diego. Whether it be paintings or whether it be music, you really kind of foster the development of creatives here in San Diego. So I'd like to introduce you. So Art, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, Tino. Thank you for inviting me. And I had a chance to take a tour of the studio with Wade, and I'm pretty impressed.
Okay, yeah, great.
Cool.
What he's saying is we have a couple of radio studios here. We also have a live recording, and we have a live we have a control room and a bunch of guitars, because Paul likes his guitars around here. So,
yeah.
But yeah, really appreciate you coming out here. You're not the standard guest we would have on. We'd either usually have a manufacturer or we'd have a player. But I think it's really important for the listeners out there to realize that there are people that are out there supporting. They don't necessarily have to play or be technical, but they're there making music happen. So tell me a little bit about the hArt Lounge, why you got that started, and where you see it going, what you see doing with it.
Well, how we got it started is a long story. I'll try to sum it up as best as I can, because it's been a collaborative effort all along since I first started.
Okay. Collaborated with who?
Pretty much, it's been a collage of people.
Okay.
But everyone's chipped in their own way. They've made the place unique because they basically created it, or we created it. I include myself. It has a purpose to become a community place to promote art, local artists, and then connect art artists with the world using this medium, the internet.
Yeah.
And that's where the open mic came about. But basically, right now it's me and my sister.
Okay.
It's a cafe in downtown for those of you who haven't had a chance to visit us.
Yeah, let's give a plug. What's the URL?
What's the what?
The URL. What's the website?
HARTLounge.com.
HARTLounge.com, and then...
And the open mic is HARTLounge.tv.
HARTLounge.tv, and then you also broadcast on Ustream, right? So you could be at the hArt Lounge without being at the hArt Lounge.
But that's the thing. A guest of ours, a customer, was the one who suggested that we could do that. And then we went along with it, and it's turned into something very unique, very fun to be a part of. But like I said, I can't attribute it to I had this in mind when I started hArt Lounge.
Yeah.
I just, honestly, I saw a good business opportunity. I've always wanted to promote art. I had
and I've always wanted to promote art.
Thank you.
He's right here. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, thank you. Well, we met through the open mic.
Yeah, we did.
And we became friends, and I think we're going to work together for from now on.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a lifelong friendship because we have a similar passion and goal is to see art in the community flourish, whether it be our community here or to communities across the country or world, because that's how we're reaching out to, thousands, if not, hopefully we're going to get out to millions of people at some point. But, I like to give my testimonial about your establishment. I stumbled onto it from Ustream. So that's one of the ways I found out about it. And I looked at it and said, that's kind of cool. And I was looking for a place for my band to kind of get out there and work out some new material and try out a new sound without having to have a lot of pressure of carrying a full show. So we thought, hey, this would be a good place to go to do an open mic, because open mics aren't necessarily the coolest thing sometimes.
Yeah.
We went out there and we were floored. We were blown away by the crowd was so supportive. The environment, the ambiance really inspired the music. And our lead singer, Mickey, is that's the only place she likes to play. We played a number of places, but she always wants to go back to your establishment.
That's great to hear. I didn't know that.
And we've heard this from other artists there as well, that everyone says that the vibe there is really kind of special and supportive, and they just feel very comfortable there.
Usually the crowd is artists, like waiting for their turn to play. It's created a bond between.
Yeah, that kind of makes the difference. Everybody there is sort of on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Just trying to promote their art and being very supportive of other people's, as opposed to just a bunch of barflies sitting around or something.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we've run into, because we've done the cover band thing. We've run into the situation where you're there and you're just basically background music. The people aren't there to hear the music. At your establishment, they're not just artists, but I've for those folks that don't know, he's got a architect college across the street from his establishment, and those kids come in and patronize, and they're really looking at what's going to be inspiring to them. And if there's a word I can use for your establishment, it's inspiring. It makes you want to do more, makes you want to do better. You feel good, you see, and you can breathe it in, and it happens on multiple deep levels. So that's my endorsement.
And it's not a finished thing yet. I mean, it's going to keep evolving. It's always going to have something new going on, or we're going to be changing something, because it feels like it's a work in art by itself, like to keep including other people's ideas. And of course, the architecture school you mentioned is right in front, and we want to involve them more in they're architects, they're interior designers. So have fun with the place, play with it.
Because it didn't start off as a cafe, right? It started off as an art store.
That was the business that I got into. That's what I had in mind. But it's fun for me, it was my first business venture, so it's fun to, when you're starting, to see what it can be.
Yes.
So when it was a building that needed remodeling, needed to be have some work done, both inside and outside. And we were looking at the space, and we have plenty of space for an art store. Why not do a lounge / art store? And then it became a lounge. Then we put in the food and the hookah, the beer, wine, and the music. So it's turned into something that slowly, progressively, people organically. It's all community based.
Yeah.
And we're there for that purpose too.
And the food's organic as well. It's great food. I've had a chance to try the paninis there, and it's just, lunch, for dinner, it's a great place, and it's healthy, right?
Yeah.
Healthy is another word. So inspiring, healthy. We can go on for some great words here for it. Now, it wasn't always easy to do these things, right? You've had challenges. The city wasn't necessarily as on top of what's going on in the zone, if I remember rightly, because it used to be a residential area, it no longer is.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about future projects. Was a long, complicated, bureaucratic, whatever. We got it done. Me and my sister Minerva, we designed the menu to be, like you said, organic, as healthy as we can be, and still be student friendly prices, and make it their hangout spot.
I think the main thing I wanted to convey to the listeners is that never let anything stand in your way.
Right. Yeah. And I want to also confess, I love this medium because it's a perfect way to tap into people's emotions. Like music, I've always seen it as that. And I would love, I know I'm not your regular type of guest, but I would love to learn how to play music. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love music. I even bought a sax, but I just never had a chance.
We need a sax player, man. Come on.
You need a sax player?
We need a sax player for the band. So, yeah.
But it's we want to connect with the community.
Okay.
And you guys are going to help us do that. And we're going to turn our open mic that we record, we live stream on Ustream. We're going to turn it into something big.
Yeah.
We want to. We want to be that place that, when you're in San Diego, you have to go as a musician, as an artist.
And what's funny is you get real artists out for this open mic. The couple of nights when it was raining, we had Trish Hohen. Hopefully I say her last name right. Incredible recording artist from LA. She just happened to be in town and just wanted to kind of express herself. She came out to the hart Lounge. And then we had Opie Hicks, aspiring rapper, amazing talent. Yeah. And then last week we had not last week, I think they were there last week too. I wasn't getting a chance to be there, but you had Organic Alliance. And those guys can rock, with Caddy and with Sean and those guys, they really make it happen. So you have real artists coming in for the open mic, and then you're also doing some special events. We're going to be talking about those special events shortly. We unfortunately, or fortunately, because we got sponsors that are helping us stay on board. Yeah, we're gonna be going to that. So for those people that really want to help out to develop the community for art and music, what would be your one sentence you would say for that?
One sentence to connect.
For them. Actually, we're going to go into the commercial right now. We'll come back and we'll finish up with that sentence.
Yeah.
So this is Florentino and the Changing Stage with Arturo Gonzales from the hArt Lounge.
Are you an adventurous wine drinker? Would you enjoy trying a bold red with dark fruit and a spicy finish from Hungary? Or an amphora-style Chivi Pinot with layers of complex flavors? Carpathian Wines hand selects extraordinary wines from premier Central European wineries. At CarpathianWines.com, you'll find amazing dry whites, big juicy reds, even the famous Tokaja Azul. Discover award-winning limited production wines from the heart of Central Europe. Find them only at CarpathianWines.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
When did men lose their way? Was it Hollywood portraying us as wimps? Is it the daytime serials where we're on our hands and knees begging for affection from women? Is it all the talk shows telling us women want a sensitive guy or a macho man? Well, Guy, how does it feel to spend $200 on a couple of dates and never hear from the girl again? Doc Love's The System can change all that. 35 plus years of Doc Love's life has been devoted to a simple question posed to over 10,000 women. Why do you choose to stay with one guy versus another? Doc Love's The System is a realistic approach to dating written just for men. Visit DocLove.com today. That's DocLove.com today for more about this system. It's time to reclaim your manhood. DocLove.com. The system will change your life.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Wow, what an amazing guitar track that was on that intro to the continuation of the show. That was actually my producer, Paul Berezetsky. I had to give him, this is like Paul's shout-out show. So he's done a great job of doing some mixing, and then now, he's also a master player, and he's been a performer over at the hArt Lounge, and that kind of brings us back now to Arturo. So again, we're back on air, Arturo, and we had a message that we're going to say. Unfortunately, we had to go pay some bills. Arturo, people who are aspiring to help out in the community to develop the arts, whether it be music, whether it be spoken word, whether it be rap, heavy metal, whatever it is, what would be, a suggestion, a advice that you would give somebody that wants to get involved or wants to do kind of like what you're doing, because it's very unique.
Yeah, well, visit us at the hArt Lounge. Come reach out. No, honestly, I also want to meet people like that so we can help each other out.
Yeah, you mentioned collaboration before, and I think that's one of the things I found over at your place is that all of the people that work there, sweetheart people, they've always been very warm and inviting. It feels like if you had a cool, funky pad that you lived in, that would be the hArt Lounge, because you got couches, you got great art on the walls, and it just invites a creative spirit to kind of come alive. And in fact, that is one of the things that, we're going to talk about later on. Actually, I want to talk a little bit more something different that kind of plays in this.
Yeah.
When you're not being the patron of the arts, you actually have another gig where you're the ambassador to Tijuana. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, San Diego and Tijuana have great relations as two cities that live side by side. If you remove the border, we're one area that has almost the same population on each side.
Oh, wow.
Closely to 6 million. So we're a metropolis if you see it in that, put yourself in that perspective.
We'll kick butt on LA, man. We don't need those guys up north.
We won't soon. The closer we work together, the more prosperous we'll be. And that's why we have an office in San Diego. I'm head of that office, the Binational Affair office.
Okay.
And what we're looking for is basically to create better relations in the business community, in the government sector, cultural, everything, every aspect that where we can collaborate, work together. We're doing it, and that's what that office is there for. It's there to serve as basically as a liaison to if you need something in Tijuana, if it's for information, and that's the role I function as. I represent Tijuana in certain events here in San Diego, and also host people who are interested in going to Tijuana. We hosted Mayor Kevin Faulconer. His first week in office, he went to Tijuana, met with the mayor, the council, the city council, and with the business community, and it was a great trip. He came back looking forward to working closer together. But,
yeah, you're a man of Renaissance man of many talents. You're. But I think the one thing you keep always coming back to is you're very good at collaborating and networking and building people's relationships and fostering. I think that's why the hArt Lounges work so well. Is that you're that central hub. You've got a lot of people that are working with you, but you help build that up. And
I think it's that, and also the era we're living in. Like, it's just starting. I can see this our lives have changed so much in such a short time span. We haven't really had a chance to process how big and how far we're going to take the internet and being so connected. And I mean, the sky's the limit. And
I think music, it's coming from being a musician, coming from that world, really is empowering. And hopefully at some point with all the border stuff that we can start seeing some more musicians coming from over here from over there to San Diego. Like, I love rock and Espanol.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? Carlos Santana, he grew up playing in the bars in TJ. Like, there's always been something very bohemian about Tijuana, like where people traveled to go live, maybe cross to the U.S. Some ended up staying, and that created I don't know, like it just makes your imagination like grow, I guess, knowing that there's another country right next door, and then there was tourism coming in and out of Tijuana.
It's such a blend of cultures.
Yeah, it's multicultural. It's a city that welcomes people, and that brings in different traditions, different people from everywhere that contribute and
exactly.
Their chip in.
You got to watch out when you mention Santana to Paul, because that's one of his idols, and he's got a Santana guitar right there. So you never know, he might start wailing away. We won't even get a chance to talk.
He played your guitar?
No, he played. Jason
it's called the model is called a PRS Santana.
Yeah, the one over there. No, Jason, we had those available just in case Jason wanted to use some different guitars. So now, you know what? With that in mind, this collaboration is a big thing. We kind of keep coming back to that idea in Soul. We're actually working on something together. We're gonna, the station, WS Radio, the Changing Stage, hArt Lounge, Tino, Paul, Art. We're all collaborating on a special event for April the 12th. And I'm going to because I've been kind of helping you and you've been helping me kind of get this going, I'll kind of let everybody know. Basically, it's going to be an art and music, or music and art, however you want to look at it, event where we have a artist, Kat. It was what she goes by, the name Kat. She's actually a painter and a graphic artist, and you had a chance to meet her a few weeks ago, and we all met at the same time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our band, Curbside Vinyl, me and Paul and Mickey and Tu and Sean and all the folks in our band, and then some of the guys that came to the open mic. We're going to do a big event, not for our own edification and not for our own benefit, but we really want to do something for the community, kind of like what you're talking about, bridging those relationships, what you were talking about with Tijuana. So we've got an event that we're going to be doing. It's going to be a charity event focusing on human trafficking, because it's such a blight on society, where people are taken out of their homes or taken from their lands and made to do things, just atrocious things. And the International Justice Mission is really our kind of a passion for all of us to kind of see that grow, to watch freedom. And I think that's kind of what I've been hearing too, is that's the other word that we're looking at, is freedom being a key to everything that we do. So, this is going to be a fight for freedom, freedom of expression of art, freedom of expression of choice, freedom of expression of freedom, So tell me a little bit about that. What do you see that being for you and the hArt Lounge? How do you see that impacting?
I'm excited. I love you guys when you play. You guys create magic, and you connect with the crowd, and you make everybody feel good and dance, and everybody feels the same way. They love you guys when you go and play. It's like people look forward to it.
Well, I think we're looking at doing this, if this one works out, and if you folks make sure, if you're here in San Diego, come out April the 12th, hArt Lounge. What's the address?
734 Park Boulevard, or check us out on hartlounge.tv. That's where we have our show recorded. And then also every Friday night, we have open mic hosted by Timothy Moran. It starts at 7.
Awesome. And then we're going to be doing that Saturday the 12th. Big event for the International Justice Mission, and we also have the folks at Ethnos Church that are helping to put this all together for us. Again, thank you folks for listening. We never have enough time. My name is Florentino Buenaventura. Arturo Gonzales, thank you. Paul Berezeski, my producer. This is The Changing Stage on WS Radio Network.
This is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration became so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind. Connected World Magazine is dedicated to reporting on the next generation of M2M and connected devices. Subscribe today for only $12.97 at connectedworldmag.com/subscribe. Written for the fast-paced, device-enthused individual or business, Connected World Magazine provides unique insight and analysis to all things connected. Subscribe today for only $12.97 at connectedworldmag.com/subscribe. Connected World. Living the connected life has never been easier.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Felix Taberna, host of Race and Sports Radio. Join our cast and crew every Saturday and Sunday right here at WSRadio.com, beginning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Race and Sports Radio.